Good morning, all. I am Swapna, working as an assistant professor in Marri Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. Today, we are discussing about the data types in Python, in this specially set data type. So here in Python, data types are actually classes and the defined variables are their instances or objects. Since Python is dynamically typed, the data type of a variable is determined at time of runtime based on the assigned value. So based on the assigned value, the data type of the variable is assigned in the Python. So in Python, we have 6 standard built-in data types. One is numeric, string, list, tuple, set and dictionary. Today we are discussing about the data type set in Python. Set data type. A set is a unordered collection of items. Set is a data type. In this, the elements are unordered. When we are printing the elements of the set, so it should not maintain the order. So in set, the duplicate values are not allowed. And set is a collection of heterogeneous elements. We can take as a set elements as different data types. A set itself is mutable. We can add or remove elements from it. We can add and remove from the set. So set is a heterogeneous elements are allowed here. A set is created by placing all the elements inside the curly braces. So like dictionary, we are placing all the elements of set in the curly braces and separated by comma. The elements of a set is separated by comma. So the empty curly braces will make an empty dictionary. So here for creating an empty set, that means with no elements, if you want to create a set with no elements, so the empty curly braces will not create the set. So to create an empty set, we are using a set function or method. So if we place S is equal to suppose only open and close curly braces with no elements, that by default the Python assumes that it is a dictionary. So for example here, so S is equal to only open and close brackets here with no elements. So the type of S is by default it is dictionary. So to create a set with empty with no elements, we can use the set method or function. So S is equal to set with no arguments. So type of S is class set. So here S is equal to, we are taking some elements 1 to 8, 10 to 80. Then we are printing the S. So these elements are enclosed in the curly braces with separated comma. So here S, we can create a set by using the range function. Here by using the range, we can give the starting and ending positions. The starting set start from 1 and closing value is 20. And by default, we are not mentioning here any step size. That's why by default it is 1. So then we are trying to print the set which is generated by the range function. So the output is 1 to 19. So here we are using range function. That's why as a set with 1 to 19 and these elements are separated with comma and enclosed in curly braces. So in the second example, set is a collection of elements with heterogeneous elements. Set allows the heterogeneous elements. So here in this example, 10 is an integer, Shiva is a string and 20.5 is a float value and true is a boolean value. So here that's why set is collection of heterogeneous elements. Then I am trying to print the set with S. So I am getting like this. So set is a unordered set and unordered collection of elements. So here it not maintaining the order. So here the starting value in the set is 10. But here it comes here in the second position. That's why set is a unordered and it is heterogeneous. So in this example, set will not allow the duplicate values. So it removes the duplicate values. Here in this example, 10 and CSM came twice. So that's why it removes the duplicate elements and print the set. So when I am trying to print the set with duplicate values, it deletes the duplicate values and gives only once. 10, Shiva and CSM. Here 10 and Shiva CSM are came twice in the set. So when we are trying to print, the duplicate elements are deleted. So next one is S is equal to set. So this is a list with 10, 20, 30, 40 and 10, 30. So here we are 10 and 30 came twice in the list. Now I am trying to convert this list into set by using the set data type. But what is a set? It will not allow the duplicate values. But in this list we have two duplicate values 10 and 20. After converting this list into the set, so it will remove the 10 and 30 values and it gives in the curly braces, then it will give the set without duplicate values. So duplicate will be removed when the list is converted to set. So here 10 and 30 are the duplicate values in the list. When we are trying to convert this list into set, the values are deleted. Next one is accessing the elements of the set. So here set is an unordered collection. That's why unordered data type. That's why here we are not using any indexing and slicing method to access the set elements. So we cannot access or change an element of a set using indexing or slicing. Set does not support indexing and slicing. So then the next topic is the methods, the set data type methods. So in this, the first one is add method. Add is a method adds a given elements to a set. If the element is already present, it does not add any element. It returns none. We can add an element to the set by using the add function or method. So for example, for what is the syntax is here? Set dot add of element. So here A is equal to with 4 values. Then I want to add the fifth element as 50 to set A. That's why A dot add of 50. Then I am trying to print A. So this is a output. 20, 30, 10, 50 and 40. So here added 50 and we will get the output like this. So after adding and printing and again I am trying to add 10 which is already present in the above list. But when we are adding this 10, this is a duplicate value to the above set. That's why A dot add of 10, then I am trying to print, then set deletes duplicate values. That's why we are getting only once. The 10 values we are getting only once in the set. Next, we can add. So S dot add 30 comma 40. So we can add only one element to a set at a time. So here I am trying to add 2 elements at a time. That's why it will give error as takes exactly one argument. We are giving 2 elements here. That's why it gives an error message. So we can also add the tuple to the set. So tuple is to the set. So here A with 4 elements, the set with 4 elements, and I am adding a tuple to the existing set A. So that's why A dot add of, this is a tuple with 50 comma 60 and this 50 60 elements are present in the tuple. So this 50 and 60 is not present in the given set. That's why we are adding this 50 60 as an element to the set A. So here 50, 60, 20, 30, 10, 40 are already present in the set. Finally, we got this output with the tuple. So, set is a heterogeneous data type, heterogeneous elements. It allows heterogeneous elements. That's why tuple is one type and these are all integers. So, it is allowed. So, next method is update method. Update method updates this set, adding elements from other iterables Update method returns none. The syntax of update is set dot update iterable. S1 is equal to with 3 values, the set with 3 elements 10, 20, 30. S1 dot update with 40, 50, 60. So 40, 50, 60 is also a set. Then I am trying to print S1. So these 40, 50, 60 are values added to 10, 20, 30 and we are updating the S1 with these values. So again we can get the output is like this. So we are combining, we are updating this set S1 with these values and finally we got this output. S is equal to, in this example, 10, 20, 30, S dot update of 40. So update of 40, it will give an error. Object is not iterable. So here iterable means we can update the value. These are, so this set is an iterable set. We can update the set with list. The list is also iterable. Here we have only single value 40. This is not iterable. That's why it will give an error. So in the next example, S is equal to 10, 20, 30 and S dot add. So here this is a tuple. So this is iterable. This is list and this is also iterable. Now we are updating this given S with these two tuple and list elements. So finally we got the result as this, like this. So 10, 20, 30 and 50, 60, 60, 70, 80, 90. So with all 9 values, with all 9 elements are present in the output. So here this tuple and the list are iterable. Here this single element 40 is not iterable element. The next method is copy. Copy method returns a shallow copy of the set. So here we are performing the copy by using the aliasing. So aliasing is nothing but giving a name to the existing name, alias. New name to the existing. So here S1 is equal to with some values 10, 20, 30, 40 and here we are assigning, we are aliasing this S1 with S2 by using the equal operator. So S2 is equal to S1. That means we are here performing aliasing. So then we are trying to print S2. So S2 also having the same values 10, 20, 30, 40. But here observe that. So what is the aliasing method is the shallow copy. So here when we are using aliasing, that is equal, when we are using equal operator, so we are only giving the name to a new name to these elements, to this set S1. So here we are giving aliasing, that's why the S1 and S2 having the same ID. So print, by using the print ID of S1, we are printing the ID of S1. Here also we are printing the ID of S2. Here we are using this aliasing symbol equal to, that's why S1 and S2 having the same ID. The problem with the copying the set with equal is, if you modify the set, if we modify the S2 set, then S1 set is also modified. Why? Because S1 and S2 is pointing to the same ID. In this ID only we have the elements, set elements 10, 20, 30, 40. If you are trying to modify any value in this set to 2, S2, then those modifications also affect in set 1. If you need to original set to be unchanged, then the new set is modified. You can use the copy method. So this is aliasing. By using a equal operator, it is aliasing to compulsory change. So if any modifications present done in the S2, those values will not affect on the S1 by using the copy method. So this is an example. Here we are using, in this example, the copy method. So S1 is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. Now I am copying all the S1 elements to S2, set to 2. So now then I am printing S1. So this is a S1. So I am printing the ID of S1. This is the ID of S1. Next, printing the S2. These are the elements of S2. Now I am printing the ID of S2. Just observe the ID of S2. It is changed. So previously it is same. So by using the copy method, it is changed. So S2 is stored in separate ID and S1 is stored in separate ID by using the copy method. If we use aliasing, that is equal, both S1 and S2 is pointing to the same ID. So then in S1 I am adding 50 element. So here I am printing 50 element. Then I am printing the S2. So these changes, the changes made in the S1 will not affect the changes made in the S2. The changes made in the S1 will not change on the set S2. So S2 is same, only 4 elements, S1 having the 5 elements. Next one is remove. This remove method removes the specified element from the set. So the syntax is set dot remove the particular element. The remove removes the specified element from the set and updates the set. It does not return any value. Just it removes the element and update the set. If the element passed to remove does not exist, the key error exception is thrown. For example, so here S with 5 values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and I am trying to delete the 40 element from the set and next I am printing the S. So here 40 is removed from the set. Suppose I want to remove an element 80 which is not present in the given set. Which is not present in the given set. So it will give an error, that is the element is not found in the set. That's why we are not deleting or removing the element from the set. Next one is discard method. Discard method removes a specified element from a set. If the element does not exist, the set remains unchanged. You will not get an error. So we will not get an error like remove method. So if by using discard method, when we are trying to remove the element which is not present in the set, it will not give an error. So discard. So S is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 with the 5 elements. I am printing the 5 elements. I am printing the set. Now S dot discard of 60. This 60 is not present in the given list and I am trying to print. So here 60 is not present, but we are using the discard method. That's why it will not give any error. If we are using the remove method, then it will give error. So it will not give an error and it prints the list elements, set elements. The next method is pop. Pop method removes the arbitrary element from the set and returns the element removed. So it returns an element removed and displayed it. The syntax of pop for set is set.pop. The top pop method returns the arbitrary, that means random element from the set. Also, the set is updated and will not contain the element. If the set is empty, the type error exception is raised. So here set is equal to S is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40 and I am printing here the set values. So now I am using the pop method s.pop. So by using the pop, we can remove an element randomly. So 20 is removed and I am printing the set. So here we are not, the 20 is not present in the set. So the pop method removes the random element and displays which element is deleted. The next method is clear method. The clear method removes all the elements from the set. It does not return any value. The syntax is clear method is set.clear. So for example, S is equal to, here we have some strings elements. All these elements will be cleared. So when we are printing, so unordered set. That's why the elements are unordered. So cleared all will be these elements. So now I'm using the method clear. So I'm printing the S set. So set with empty brackets. So it clears all the elements from the set and remains empty set. And the next topic is the mathematical operations on set data type. In that, the first method is difference. Difference method returns a set difference of two sets. It returns a set difference of two sets. Difference method returns the difference between two sets which is also a set. It does not modify original set. So here, so for difference, we require two sets A and B with elements, with 5 elements. So here A dot difference of B. So it will give a set as 10, 50. Why? Because, so what is the difference? So these 20, 30, 40 are also present in the B. Set B. So 20, 30, 40 elements are also present in set B. So what is the difference of B from A is 10, 50. This 10 and 50 elements are present in A but not in B. So in the next example, B dot difference of A. So it gives as 60 and 70. So B dot difference of A. So here 60 and 70. Why? This 40, 30, 20 is already present in set A. That's why it gives the result as 60 and 70 in the set format. Then I am printing A and I am printing B. So for finding the difference, we can also use the operator minus to find the differences of two sets. The next mathematical operation is intersection. So intersection method returns a new set with elements that are common to all sets. The syntax of intersection in Python is set dot intersection of the sets, set 1, set 2, set 3 up to so on till. So here in our example we are taking two sets with some elements and here I am performing the intersection. So by using this intersection method we can get the common elements present in set A and set B. So in set A 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 and in set B 30, 70, 20, 90 and 10. So what are the common elements in these two sets? Those are the 10, 20, 30. So it gives the common elements which are present in both the sets. We can also use the AND operator. We can also use AND operator for intersection of sets. So here we are using an intersection. So here we have three sets A, B, C with some values. And the intersection of A, B and C is by using print A and B and C. It will give the common elements which are present in three sets. So those are 10 and 20. So here 10 and 20, 10 and 20, 10 and 20. So 10 and 20 are the common elements in three sets. Next operation is union. This method returns a new set with distinct elements from all the sets. So it combines the distinct elements. So here we have two sets A and B with some elements. So here I am performing union operation A dot union of B. Then we can get the output like this. So it takes all the distinct elements from both the sets and it will generate the output. The next operation is disjoint. This method returns true if two sets are disjoint sets. If not, it returns false. Thus, two sets are said to be disjoint sets if they have no common elements. If both sets have no common elements, then those sets are disjoint sets. If those sets are disjoint sets, then this function returns true. Otherwise, it returns false. So here in this, so the syntax is A dot disjoint of B is disjoint of B. So A is equal to 10, 30, 20, 30, B is equal to 40, 50, 60 and C is equal to 10, 70, 80. So now we are checking A and B. A and B are disjoint or not. So A dot is disjoint of B. Yes, it is true. So in these two, no common elements are there. It is true. In the next example, A dot is disjoint of C. So then we are checking A and C here. A and C, there is a common element in both the sets, 10. That's why it is A and C are not the disjoint sets. So that's why it gives the false. Next operation or method is subset. This method returns true if all elements of a set are present in another set. If not, it returns false. Subset. Syntax is A dot is subset B. So A with 3 elements 10, 20, 30 and B is equal to 40, 50, 10, 20, 60, 70 and 30. So here 20, 30, 10, 20, 30 are present in B. That's why it returns true. Why? Because it is a subset to B. A is subset to B. That's why it returns true. So B dot subset of A? No. Why? Because all the elements are not present in A. That's why it is not the subset of A. So that's why it is false. Is superset? This method returns true if a set has every element of another set. If not, returns false. A is equal to 10, 20, 30. So B dot is superset A. Yes, it is true. And why? Because B is having all the elements of A. That's why B is a superset of A. But A dot superset of B? No. Why? Because the B elements are not present in A. That's why A is not superset of B. So A dot is superset of B returns false. B dot is superset of A is returns true. Thank you.